This is abstract artist Jerry Hardesty bringing you answers and action tips to viewing abstract art. Welcome and enjoy. Before we move on to tips 2 and 3 for today, I want to recap from tip number 1 from Monday's broadcast. And that is, I want you to remember that abstraction or an abstract painting or work represents nothing recognizable, and that there are different terms relative to abstraction. So keep that in mind as we go through today's tips. And like I said, today I'm going to be discussing 2 tips. Tip number 2, please do not look for an image. There is none. As an abstract artist, I want viewers to have their own experience with each piece, each painting. Not long ago, I finished this piece, which I call Louder Than a Whisper. As I was showing it to a group of friends, one individual said that he saw a chicken. Well, his statement put me on the defensive and I lashed out. There is no chicken. There was no chicken. And by cracky, he was not going to denigrate and devalue my work in such a way by saying that there was a chicken. I did add, however, that if he were to buy it, he could see whatever he wanted to, including a chicken, even though there's no chicken in that painting. So just to summarize tip number 2, please do not look at abstract and expect to see an image. With that in mind, let's go on to tip number 3. And tip number 3 is question yourself. What does viewing a piece, an abstract piece, what does it make you feel? How do you feel? What mood does it trigger? What feeling does it trigger? Well, don't overthink it, but just give your attention to the first thought that pops into your mind. A lyrical abstract painter, a friend of mine on Facebook, Stefan Fedorovich, states in part, quote, and I quote, "I have found that most viewers always attempt to find something recognizable in a piece of work." See, this goes back to tip number 2. This is how we are as humans, Stefan continues. We are driven by a need to find meanings or put a meaning to things. Abstract art needs to be exactly what it is, abstract. It makes people think more and dig deeper into a piece of work to find its abstract meaning, unquote. Boy, there's a lot in that statement that Stefan, that I just quoted of Stefan's. You know, it's typical for people to look for something irrecognizable. It's typical. They want to give meaning to what they're viewing, but it doesn't have to be so. Abstract needs to be abstract. It needs to make people, it makes people think more and dig deeper into a piece to find the abstract meaning. That being said, many abstract artists, myself included, rarely leave something recognizable in a piece that they're working on. They either paint it out or paint over it, one of the two. Expressions of my soul and my emotions are inspired by color, shape, and texture. I really love texture. I love textures that you can see on the canvas and they just beg to be touched. But, that's a no-no. Only the artist can do that. The artist can do the touching. But you can feel, and that's what I want you to do. So back to the question that you ask yourself for tip 3, remember, what are you feeling? How does it make you feel? What mood does it trigger in you? So that's what I want you to do for tip number 3. To summarize, tip number 2, there are no images. Tip number 3, how does it make you feel? I encourage you to watch for tip number 4 in the next few days. And today, I want to say that I will be going live at 2:30 p.m., that's Mountain Time, to showcase some work, some possibilities, and to bring your attention to the fact that I am now running a Black Friday sale. So, in the meantime, this is Jerry Hardesty wishing you happy viewing.